What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. This week, I'm doing the intro. We're just going to switch it up just because we normally do it with whoever thinks of the topic. So far, Sopek is the mastermind and thinks of all the topics. But this week, I thought of a really good topic, which is about accountability. If you guys tune in for the first time, I'm Perry. That's Sopek.
What up?
That side of the ocean, on this side of the bay. Literally, I think. No,
Yeah.
wait, no. Yeah.
Sorta.
Yeah. But the topic of accountability came up because we have a really strong group of guys we have it's basically an accountability chat, but we also just recently had a accountability call where we had some key topics that we talked about on there. I thought it would pertain really well with everyone, because I think everyone really needs some type of support group like that, whether you're a man, woman, child, LGBTQ, all that stuff. Like, it's really good that you guys have a good group of people where there's no ego, no judgment. It's a safe zone. Literally, you can say anything you want, and you got the support of everyone else to help you, on your journey with whatever, stresses or even wins that you want to talk about. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to chime in, so what do you?
Oh yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing to have, right? So you kind of think about like support groups or really accountability group, kind of like a AA type of thing, but it's really not about AA. We're all not druggies, we're not alcoholics or anything like that. But the thing is, in this day and age, is that kind of going back to the topic of guys, parents, dudes raising kids and everything like that, is that there's a certain level of vulnerability that we always have, but we don't always share it with one another because it's always like bro attitude, right? Like very masculine. But I think with the way that I think the group that we have, why it's important is because, like Perry mentioned, it's a safe zone, right? So day in and day out, we're having to go through the different things in life, right? Whether it be raising kids, teaching the kids now with distance learning, working, stresses about money, finances, even making sure to keep our marriage alive, the fire burning and everything like that. And so this group, what we actually do, is actually a really good thing, is that we actually have, before it was like a weekly thing, but obviously life gets in the way. So now I think we're switching to a monthly cadence. And the good thing about it is that we hold everyone accountable, right? We always kind of start off with, like a word of the day, describe it, describe what it means to you and how it affects you in your life and everything like that. But the main thing is like keeping everyone accountable and kind of holding to the goals that you have and making sure that you actually follow up and follow through. And so I think one of the ones that to me is actually really near and dear is that, I know I don't talk about this very much, and I don't really show very much emotion for it, but I think with this core group I feel very safe, and it's talking about weight, right? I've always had a weight issue growing up, and like people always say, oh hey, it won't be hard to miss you because you're a pretty big target. So I always kind of associate big with like being a little bit overweight or fat or whatever it is. And the thing is that with this core group of guys, at least for this workout accountability group, there's such a gratifying feeling to be able to talk about the stuff that I normally wouldn't be able to talk about, or at least be too shy about. And the affirmations that we get, the confidence building that we get, and overall just the support that we get. I am so appreciative of that, and I highly encourage everyone to actually go through and actually really seek out a core group of guys. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, doesn't matter, right? You need to confide in someone about something. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think it's actually a very healthy thing.
I mean, absolutely. Like, it's like we can only harbor so much, right, as individuals, and there's so much of the outside world that we have to deal with, and we just hold that in and we never talk about it. It's going to eat us up inside. That's just talking about stress, but also about our wins and everything, right? Like, to talk about, we should have people to share that with, whether it be our boys, our homegirls, or whatever it is. Like, we need to have people to share that with, and for people, it's just nice to be able to share that, and people are like, "Man, good job! Like, you killed it!" I mean, not to sound cheesy and all, but and you know, and I'm like you. I have the same fitness goals. You know, I've always grown up as a bigger guy, except for high school. I was like,
come on, everyone was skinny in high school.
Yeah. I saw pictures of you.
Yeah,
we're like twigs then. You know?
Yeah, I know what happened.
Life, comfortable relationship, too comfortable. You know,
I know
but
how that goes,
yeah, but I mean, the part of our group that broke out for this is, I mean, the tremendous support for one another is great. Like, because we have weekly checkups on this physical part of it. We have our workouts that we all do, not together, but we do it at our own time. But we have the dieting part of it, the calorie counting part of it, and then we like reconvene and in between we share like, oh man, this week was really tough for me. I had a hard time doing this. I'm not really good at balancing, so this was really tough for me. Or like, oh, I went over my calories, or I found that this is a really good source of carbs and it helped actually fuel me. So we're just sharing and hearing each other's woes and stuff like that, and it's just a really good feeling to know that people got your back, right?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about it is it's a very human thing, right? It's a very human like interaction that we're having, right? Because think about it, right? A lot of interactions these days is very superficial, right? You never really get down beneath the surface to get into a more deeper connection, deeper interaction, right? And so I think this is definitely what is needed. Kind of borderline spiritual, I would say, because it definitely gets me to a point where I start to think about just my daily things and what I'm doing and how I need to improve myself, right? And it's kind of funny, right? And I'll throw in a cliche, right? The teamwork makes the dream work, right? Because I think this is definitely something that is very teamwork in this kind of situation, whether it be virtual or whatever, is so important, right? Because without teamwork, without having to share your accolades with anyone else, like, God, that sucks. You need to share it with someone. Like Perry said, like, if you're not sharing with anyone, then what's the point? Like, people like to do things in pairs, right? There are certain times where you like to do things solo, but I mean, more or less, having people to share these kind of things with is actually very beneficial, right? And so, like, I get now why women like to go to the bathroom together, right? Instead of going by themselves. It's kind of funny, but they go together because there's a certain camaraderie there, right? And I think everyone, right? And so everyone needs that, right? So it's like you see someone kind of sitting by their own on during lunch or whatever, you sit next to them, go talk to them, have that conversation, have that camaraderie, because you never know what you can actually do to help out that person.
Oh yeah. Next person I see sitting down by themselves, I'm like, hey bro, I'm going to rush. You want to come with me?
Yeah. I mean, why the heck not, right?
I would chat. Yeah, I know. But I understand what you're saying, because like, I think during for like the example of women going to the restroom together, like, one, I think it's good for security.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm the scenario I'm imagining. I don't know why they're not even at a restaurant. They're like at the club.
Yeah.
And they're leaving a table and they're like, hey, I'm about to go to the restroom. You want to come? And it's like, make sure like no one grabs your ass and shit like that, right? But the other thing is just like that time when you walk there, you guys do your thing, and then you come back. It's like you're catching up.
Yep.
Right? So it's just like, I don't know. It's just a really like you have a mutual collective goal of like going to the restroom, and that's enough.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's very true. I mean, I think having a core set of people, to me, it kind of, more or less, it kind of saved me. I think having like your go-to set of people to just really speak your mind. I don't know how many times like I've actually been through a situation where it's like, I want to talk to someone. I go through my directory of who I can talk to, and there's only a certain amount of people that I can actually list out and say, yeah, I can go to this person and be like, hey, I have a problem. And for them to actually be so attentive and so understanding, and to have that listening ear, obviously I have my wife, but she's working, whatever. So these kind of things, they do come up randomly, right? And you just need to have like to bounce an idea off of someone. you know, obviously there's certain things that are a little more obscure where it's like, okay, maybe I want to ask a certain group or whatever, right? And obviously we have you guys, the internet, to kind of chime in on, you know, what it is that you guys do, or to even ask, like, you know, am I the asshole, you know, in thinking about one thing or another, right? But the fact of the matter is that you need to have an outlet. There's no doubt about it, right? I know we spoke about this in one of our other videos, like how we actually deal with stress and everything like that, but this could actually be one of the ways you actually deal with it, right? I mean, coupled with screaming, driving, whatever the case may be.
I mean, totally. Like we need an outlet, you know, for everything, for stress, anger, for happiness, for joy, for, you know, excitement. We need outlets for that. You know, I mean, we are social creatures, and, you know, more importantly now than ever during a pandemic, like having these chats is so vital. You know, I mean, like the reason why I thought about this, not only because we just had that chat recently with our group, but one of my friends on Facebook posted, you know, what do you guys do, you know, when you're like feeling down, you need some type of encouragement, stuff like that. And my immediate response to him was like, I'm lucky to have a really good core group of fellows that I regularly talk to on a daily basis, whether it be text or whatever, that there's a no judgment zone, no egos, safe free zone that I can go to when I'm feeling the most vulnerable, or if I'm like sharing a win. You know, if you don't have a group like that, you feel free to hit me up anytime. You know, I'll definitely like hear you out at the very least, right? You know, and I think it just takes that, because he was really appreciative that I said that to him, and I hadn't spoken to him since high school. And so for him, it was just like, damn, like, you know, I didn't think that you were like that. That's what he said to me. And I was just like, well, it's high school was a long time ago, and you changed, right?
And
so
people, things change. Yeah, it's actually very, very true. Another thing I actually just thought of is that with the accountability and the group of people that, you know, we do talk to, the core group, to be honest, I think there's also and don't take this the wrong way, I think it's actually a really good thing, but there's also a level of I would say internal competition. The reason why I say that is because, for instance, like Perry, you say, hey man, I just closed this deal, I feel pretty good. You know, you're not sharing figures, but the fact that you're doing things, it kind of, the way I see it, it kind of sparks everyone else to kind of say, damn, he's doing things, I need to do that same thing, or kind of one up. And I think that's an indirect way of improving each other, both mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, personally, right? And I think that's definitely one of the things that I think is great, right? Because, you know, there's always these situations where if you're doing well and you share it with certain people, they either say, oh, how'd you get all that money, or who'd you sleep with to get there, or who did you bribe to get this and get that, right? But the one thing I did notice with this group, and it's so freaking evident, is that there's no jealousy. There's always affirmations about, fuck, level up, level up, level up, level up. And, you know, the thing that really strikes me is that this is not a very common thing, right? It's not something that happens overnight, and it's not something that is easy to come by. And that's why, like, for me, I'm like trying to embrace it so much, right? Because the level of competition and upping one another, you know, to excellence, I think it's freaking awesome.
I mean, it's healthy competition. You know, like, it's healthy competition is great, you know, because it only becomes bad competition when people are being spiteful or, you know, salty about it, right? But there's no one like that in our group. No, you know, there's no one that goes, damn, like how can I get what he got? Damn, I can't do it, you know, like, you know, like, or no one's talking shit about, like, damn, like you did that, but then you're lacking in this way, like, you know, no one says shit like that, right? Because that's what healthy competition is. Once you start hearing that, that's when, like, you got to weed those people out. And I do have really close friends that I know that if I were to come to them with a same scenario that I presented to our group, if I came to them with
judgment, dude, it's judgment.
Yeah, like ultimate pessimist, right? Will be like, well, you know, like what you have to do that. It's like it was hard, and you know, I would have to defend myself, which is a really odd situation to immediately go through from saying, guys, guess what happened, to well, I had to do all this work to earn it. You know, it's like, come on, man, like I'm just trying to, right? So it's
like all that doubt, like, come on, man, if you're doubting me for my achievements and all the crap that I had to go through, like, what does that mean about like our friendship? You know what I mean? Like, is that how you truly feel about me? Like, I don't work my tail off to get what I get and to get to where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
it's just like immediately I think it's like you just hating because you want it. You know, you just hating because like I'm the one that put it out there, right? Like, and that happened, and those people I distanced myself from, and I'm glad that. See, this is perfect because it was those situations that pushed myself away from them towards our group. You know, so that's probably how the world works. We're just all meandering around, bouncing off connection to connection, and then we will stay connected to those that will make us stronger collectively. Yeah, and then we would gradually push ourselves, distance ourselves for ones that will, you know, have a negative effect on us. And it's something you learn as you get older and with experience. You know, like me 10 years ago would probably not be saying the same thing, but would be wanting the same thing. You know?
Oh no, for sure. Like it's such a humbling thing, to be honest with you, because it's funny that you mentioned that. Whereas like, you know, as you kind of go through life, you start off with like, for example, like 50 friends, right? As you get older, that 50 starts to kind of break off, right? It's kind of like the Christmas tree effect, right? Where you start at the very bottom, it's like pretty wide, and then it slow narrows all the way up. And that's what I see with like my parents, right? They used to have a decent amount of friends, but then when their friends start giving them crap, like, oh, how'd you do this? Oh, you're rich, you can do this, blah blah blah. I'm like, that's not even the case. The fact of the matter is that my parents, they work their tail off, but then these other people are like, you know, it's like it's like conversation of getting rich quick and getting rich slowly, right? The people that get rich quick are always the ones that are always like really, you know, showboating and showing everything that they have. And then the get rich quick or get rich slow is always like, you know, just kind of going with the flow, not being too flashy or anything like that. But the people that get rich quick get pissed at the people that get rich slow, because they're like, dude, what the heck are you doing? You know, and it's like, hey man,
they think they know it all.
Yeah, you know, and like, so don't flex on me because of the way I'm doing things. Whatever I'm doing with myself and how I'm doing it, it's fine. Deal with yourself, right? Like, you know, and that's the thing, right? And I think there's a certain toxicity to it, right? And if you're around people that tend to bring you down like that, you might need to start to question whether or not you want those people in your life.
For sure, you got to trim the fat, man, and like the faster you realize that, the faster you'll basically almost be reborn again. You know, like because people like that are 100% just holding you back, keeping down your potential, just so that they can have, like, misery loves company. You know, and I've had to cut out a lot of people like that. You know, unfortunately, I mean, I still care for them, but I know that, you know, with me touching base with them here and there over the years, that they haven't changed. And so because of that, well, that's the extent of where I'm going to go. I got more important things to worry about. And and I'm thankful for it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. No, right? I mean, that's the epitome, or that's the true definition of growth, right? I mean, if you're not growing from there, you're just stagnant, right? And to be quite honest, I'm actually in the same boat as you in terms of that, because there's been a lot of things that have happened recently, I would say about a month or two, where it just kind of opened my eyes up, you know, where I start to kind of see these certain mannerisms or certain actions by certain individuals, and I just kind of like, whoa, I didn't do anything to warrant this, so I'm gonna take a step back. We're still cool, but our interactions are probably going to be a lot less. Like, that's just, you know, it's just such a crazy thing to actually think about that. And I guess for whatever reason, it took this pandemic for me to actually get to that point. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, if it had to take a pandemic to have us realize certain things, we're probably better off for it, you know?
Yeah, no, I can't agree more.
Yeah, with everything that's going on in the world right now, we've been forced into minimalism in a way. And when you're forced into that, you really start to pay more attention to what you want in your inner circle of things that you can handle, right? And then you weed out those that just don't make sense. And so I encourage everyone, if you don't have a person, a group of people, a chat, anything that is similar to this, I encourage you to go seek one out. And it takes you, if it takes you to be vulnerable first to set the bar, so be it. It's gonna warrant and encourage other people to be like, dang, I didn't know Perry felt like that, and he was able to open up. Like, it allows me to open up and talk about my stuff, and it just feels good to get stuff off your chest, whether it be stressful stuff, angry stuff, sad stuff, or even just happy stuff. Like, it's just get it off your chest and you feel so much better. Otherwise, speaking from experience, you harbor it in. It's literally, well, it wasn't, I don't know if it's literally ate me up. I did have an ulcer at one point. So maybe it did.
Yeah, maybe that was the cause and effect of it.
Yeah. So it probably was. But I've made these adjustments, and we've made these adjustments, and we're better off for it. And I'm truly thankful. I can't say it enough. Hopefully, all the guys that hears this, the fellas that we know this. And for you guys out there, if this hits home to you and you need to get on an accountability, anything, or just someone to talk to, you can reach out to us. Hit us in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say, your own woes and everything like that. And hey, if we can start something up with you, that'd be great.
Yep, I can't agree more. And you took the words right out of my mouth. Right, the whole accountability, group of friends, group of guys. It doesn't even have to be a group. It can just be like you and another person. I cannot agree more. Without that, we're not human, right? It's just like watching this series called Alone. Yeah. You need to have people. Like, you just need to bounce ideas off of people. You need a different perspective, and that's definitely something that having a group of accountable guys or girls or whoever will help. And to kind of plus one what Perry just said. If you need to talk, we're here. Put a comment. We'll start it up. I don't care. As long as we're helping someone from doing anything to themselves or making any irrational decisions, I'm here to we're here to listen. We're here to help out. But I think as what we always say in closing a lot of our videos is, you always got to stay safe. You always got to be able to take care of yourself. You always got to make sure to take yourself into account, and always make sure that you yourself are okay before you start helping other people out. So
yeah, I couldn't make that comment to my friend on Facebook if I didn't have a core group of guys to make me whole. I would be in a different state of mind, and maybe wouldn't have been able to help them. So that's how this ripple effect works. Yep,
for sure. So if you guys need help, we're here. Place in the comments, DM us, whatever it is. But until then, stay safe and have a great Halloween. Peace.
See you guys later.
Later.